Hi everybody, my name is Rhys Barber. I'm one of the audiologists that works here at Audiology Associates.
And my name is Taylor Green, and welcome to day 27 of January.
We haven't been together since Waxfest, or Waxmas, I should say.
Well, yeah.
Waxfest we were this year.
Waxfest, yeah.
Waxfest, yes, of course we were. So this is actually Taylor's patient, so I'm going to let Taylor take the lead because I haven't seen this patient yet, so you can do the majority of the talking for this one.
No problem. So this patient has come through to us, very blocked up in both ears, I believe this was. But you can see here, very, very large plug. Now you will see right at the start here, as soon as we start detaching this wax, and I think it's around about here, you'll see, there we go, you can see it's like thin, like almost skin ribbons coming from this. So we already know this is not just wax.
So that ribbon that we're seeing there, is that sort of interwoven into that plug then?
That's what I was going to expect while I was in the middle of doing this wax removal. Yeah. So we've got the standard size on the tube. Now what I'm doing here is that little tail, or the little strip, as you like, that was coming out of the ear canal there. I've just tried to put the suction tube over the top of that to try and draw some of this, some more of this skin and wax out of the ear. Everyone's ear canal will, to some degree, have an S bend. So you can imagine the letter S, but in the ear canal.
Stretched out, isn't it? So it's more. Like
yeah.
That.
So it's a bit straighter, but it's almost like slightly bent. You know what I mean?
Bit wonky.
Bit wonky. It's a bit of a wonky straight line. So. Yeah, it's obviously putting up a bit of a fight for us, so that we know this is going to be a bit longer. It's not just going to be this little block that's right in the centre. I think this is going to be a much longer piece.
And when you were talking about that sort of wiggle, that sort of wiggly S, then if you like, where that's going in further, and with this sticky type of wax, it really binds. It's hard to get it out then, isn't it? 'Cause it's formed into that shape.
There we are. You can see quite a long skin ribbon coming out there. Not as long as my one I did over Christmas, guys.
No, that was a beast. That one, in fairness. If you haven't checked that one out, guys, if I remember, I'll try and put a link to that in somewhere on the screen, so you can go and check that one out as well.
I think it was day 20.
It was towards the end, I think.
3 or 4. Yeah, day 23 or 24. So we're sticking with the same suction tube, same process, trying to get a little grip, bit of a wiggle, try and loosen this away.
So when we're talking, sorry.
Go on.
When we're talking about that skin layer, the reason you get those long strips of skin, if you remember from the videos this week, we've been talking about how the skin is formed. So the skin forms right in the center of the eardrum, and that particular part of the eardrum is known
as the umbo.
There you go. So in the umbo. So when that migration process, you come up with a really good way of describing that actually this morning. So.
Yeah. So if you can just picture a really flat pond. If you was to throw just a pebble or a stone into the pond, you get this ripple effect that will just kind of, well, just ripple
move to the outer part of the pond.
Yeah.
But that's the way the skin is forming, because that newly formed skin, if you imagine that's the point where you throw the pebble in, that's how I wanted you to imagine that skin, this epithelial layer, this on the lateral portion of the eardrum there. I wanted you to imagine that sort of migrating out like those ripples of a pond towards the outside edge. I think that's a really good way of describing it. As you can see, it's easy to get your head. Very well. It's easy to get your head around that way. But you've obviously introduced some olive oil here.
Yes, yeah, we've popped some olive oil in, and trying to pull this from the side more than anything. I know I'm gripping this from the bottom, but some of this wax is quite difficult to see around these corners. And there was obviously a little bit hidden away, so we've tried to pull this from the side. But what we are hoping, the reason we've popped the olive oil in, it's not going to soften anything right now, no. While we pop the oil in, but this can help us get underneath this wax and skin, and it stops it from kind of sticking to the ear canal as it's coming out, so it usually slides a lot easier.
You can really, when we were lifting then, you could see that grayer skin material. So we're more in the sort of, probably the halfway point, I would say, in the ear canal now. So we're heading more sort of medially and way there. And this is what's known as the sort of osseous portion of the ear canal. Now, if you see the term os in anything, it means bone, okay? So if we talk about an osseous portion and a cartilaginous portion, you can probably guess that the cartilaginous portion, that's the lateral section. That's more cartilage around the outside. Osseous section has bone around the outside. Which bone? It's your big old noggin, it's your skull. So basically that's what's surrounding the this part of the ear canal. You can really see that.
This is starting to detach here now. I was just going to say, stay with us, guys.
Yeah, sorry. Just nudge me, Taylor. I'll shut up.
No, going on from the os, as you mentioned, the posh name for the bones in the ear is actually the ossicles. So yeah, that's another fun.
See that guy? All links together seamlessly.
It's all linking together.
Do you see that? So yeah, anytime we see os, think bone. So if and we said on the last one, this medial section, this last video we put out, the medial section of the ear canal, that deeper section closer to the eardrum, so closer to the center, medial. That one there is very, very thin. You've got a thin epithelial layer, 0.1, 0.2 mil thick, sitting almost directly on top of bone. So no give there at all. So it can be, you know, it's very ultra sensitive down in there, isn't it?
This is really putting a fight for us.
It doesn't want to come out, does it? It's really wedged in there. Really, really wedged.
What this may potentially be doing, we can't see it at the moment. Excuse me, guys. What may be happening here is this plug, where it's been there for so long, this may actually be all trapped down in the anterior recess, which I think is why this is holding on so much. Because you can see we've managed to almost fully detach this from the ear canal, and it's just not going anywhere at the moment. So this is where we said earlier about that wax on the side that is always kind of hidden away a little bit. So soon as we've detached that, we've just broke
I think it's on its way, because you've twisted it now as well, haven't you? So you've kind of dislodged it from that place it was stuck.
Thought we had a blockage in the suction too.
I know, yeah. It's, you know, sometimes you do, and when we start pulling, especially with this fudgy wax, it can break off and block the end of the suction. That's out though. It's
quite a bit. Or instant relief as soon as these plugs come out with anyone that has quite a large amount of wax in there.
Yeah. Sometimes even when you just move it a little bit, they'll get it one day as long as you create a gap. Right, guys, quick test for you. Which eardrum is this? Are we looking at left? Are we looking at right? I have to remember because it's reversed on my camera. I think that was a right. Yeah, it's when we obviously do the voiceovers, guys, we're looking at almost a mirror image of what you guys are seeing. I forgot the other day. I was saying this is a right eardrum, this is a left. It's my right, but on your screen I'm pointing the other way. So yes, it's yeah. We think that was a. I think that was a left eardrum. I think I can't remember now.
I took my eyes off it. I took my eyes off it for a second.
By the time my brain processes mirror images, I'm gone.
We got exactly the same story in the other ear. Same patient, exactly the same issue on this side.
Oh, this is dry, isn't it? This one, really dry.
And you can see those lighter spots that you can see. This is again skin mixed in amongst this wax. The darker chestnut color is the wax. The lighter yellowy sort of that's the only way I can describe it really.
Golden.
Yeah, golden. That's yeah.
If you're doing chestnut, I'm doing golden. So it's really interwoven in there as well, isn't it? A bit like the other side, but whereas the other side was a long strip, I'm not sure whether this is going to be or whether it's going to be tiny pieces. So
we've got a decent size taken away there to start with. Again, we're sticking with the standard size Zollner tube. The fine end that's going to be pointless. It's just not going to do anything.
It's great for delicate work, isn't it? And pinpoint work. If you're down near the eardrum and you need to take something away, fine end, great. But for this type of material, I know there's skin in here, and sometimes we say, you know, we'll switch down to a fine end when there's skin, but the skin in this one is so tough. And the reason it's toughened up is it's old skin. Remember, Taylor was talking about that ripple effect. So that epithelial layer is migrating down to the lateral portion of the ear canal, the outer portion of the ear canal. By the time it gets there, it's starting to dry out, and all that keratin, that protein that's in that epithelial layer is causing it to harden. Don't forget, keratin is what your hair and nails are made of. Feel your nail. That's pretty tough. Now that's the sort of consistency, or maybe slightly softer, that we're getting of this skin here. So the fine end, it's what I'm trying to say, sorry, it's not going to vibrate in the end of the suction tube as much, so it's not going to clarinet as much.
Olive oil's gone in here now again. So the trusty olive oil.
Yeah, good old stuff this.
Wiggle, 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 come on. Well, you tend to see us going up and down, side to side, because the reason we do that is, again, if this is attached to the ear canal wall, the circular movements can help to detach not just certain parts, but it can actually help to loosen the whole plug, which is why we sometimes go in little circles.
Especially it's more important with these ones with skin around it as well, isn't it? That sort of dry skin layer, because you have to wiggle that. Ooh, go on, Taylor, there it goes.
So here it comes.
It's going, it's going. I was going to be quiet. I thought it was going to go. I was going to be quiet.
So I'm hoping this is going to be the whole plug. We've got a decent grip here. Again, you can see that smooth layer on the sides. That's where this wax has been attached to the ear canal.
If you're enjoying the video, guys, don't forget to subscribe, follow, like.
Keep forgetting. And so we get, this is all, I think this is wedged here now. Problem with these, in most cases with these really large plugs, is we're trying to squeeze this really large piece of wax through a really small little hole. And we managed to get it all out there. Excellent. Oh, bit of oil on the camera.
Don't we give it a bit of a clean there? Yes, see that? Go back in and get a good look.
Oh, there we go. Nice and healthy. So yeah, put up a really big fight for us, that one. That was quite a tricky one to do.
That was a tough one. That was pretty full ear canals as well, wasn't it? So.
Oh, there we are. We've got a color scale there for you guys. We're going from dark to light.
Of wax. So we're 5 centimeters.
2 inches. 2 inches.
Bang on, 2 inches. Of anyone's money, that's 2 inches. That is. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as me and Taylor did voicing it over. You shall see me and Taylor again on Monday. We will try and get back together for as many videos as we can, with obviously depending on what clinic allows us to do, really. But we shall see you again on Monday. Oh, don't forget, I've put a poll on to YouTube again. You guys, I think it was 90-something% of you got it right last time, so you did really well. Well done. I'll put another one on, and we shall see you for the next video. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
Well done, and take care of one another, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.